C.R.P.H.A, humanitarian and citizen advocate. I will be talking about many different things, or at least a certain number of things in that sense. But one thing that I was going to bring up is that not too long ago, mm, I offered to help a particular young woman in the sense of moving from wherever it was that she was at to her new place of residence. Thereby, also, in addition, I would get it to where her stuff from storage would be in her new place. We exchanged phone numbers, right, and of course that I waited. I even texted her to remind her that I even mentioned it, that I'd possibly be able to get my church to help out, and she wouldn't have to pay a red penny. Thereby, if at all, she thought that I expected anything in return. That's one thing she did not mention. The one thing, though, is that the way I work is simple. If you, the person, be that a female to start with, if you are accepting my help in the sense of relocating from point A to point B, or however you want to look at it, and say, for example, I get it to where my church helps, and it's no cost, right? And I'm not saying all churches don't do this, but what I know for sure is the church that I'm a part of does this. But in any case, and if you think that I or anybody else expects anything in return for themselves, all you have to do is all you have to do is ask them, do you truthfully expect anything in return of any sort, right? Then the person can easily say no. But of course, I know that there are people out there that will say no and then change their minds. Okay, that I know. But with me, if you want to do something for me or give me something in a positive manner, in a major positive thing, it doesn't have to be like lunches or food or a CD, whatever the hell, right? Or anything else beyond that point. Even beyond that point, that's also positive and logical and realistic and what have you. Then that's okay. But if you don't want to, I don't expect it. I do things that when I help people within reason, of course, because it's the spiritual part of me. Yes, I am a spiritual person. I care about everybody on this planet. Or if I didn't care about people on this planet, I wouldn't be doing what I've done for a good percentage of my lifetime, which is when I was working retail for 12 years, I enjoyed helping everybody that I could, even while working retail. And I also saved a person's life, an old friend of mine's life, as I may have mentioned in one of my earlier videos of C.R.P.H.A. And and I am the type of person that would be able to help a person out, especially when it comes to relocating from one area to the other. And even if it does involve my church, that would also be in the general aspect of helping as well. And I can help people out in many other ways, but unless I fully know you, it will not consist of money. And unless I can fully trust that I will get the money back, you ain't gonna get a red penny. But of course, the young woman in question, did not think to ask me that. do I expect anything in return? Or would my church expect anything in return? And the answer is no on both. But again, she neglected to mention that. And the person's name, I'm not going to mention for respect of her. But when I called her, what was it, maybe about like a month and a half or so after that discussion, because I haven't heard heads or tails from it, right? From her in that sense, right? And I checked to see if she still needed the assistance to help, essentially. She declined. Thereby, my thought, and I'm not gonna say if I'm right or what, even if I'm not right on this one, it doesn't matter to me. But the basic fact is, my thought was at the time that right after that phone call, does she think that I expect anything from her with getting something in return from me or my church? And my church wouldn't expect anything in return. Myself, I don't expect anything. Of course, if she wanted to give me something, that's fine. It would be that, of course, a lunch item, any other thing that's positive, emotionally positive, and psychologically positive, that's fine. But if she didn't really want to, that's fine too. But that's one thing you need to really, really be clear about. If you are the person in question that asks that is open for one person to help you out, especially when it comes to their churches, one of their churches helping you out in the sense of relocating, always ask, do they themselves, outside the church, do they themselves expect anything in return? And if they do, you can decline. And unless you can see or find a way that you'd be able to do that, but more on the itemized or lunch or something, right? And if you don't want to, then and get if they do want something in return, you can easily decline. And if they give you a particular hard time about it, don't let it bother you. But at the same time, is that if they don't expect anything, like I wouldn't expect anything in return, then okay. But if they change their minds, you can easily pull away. But if you being the person that offers, as I did, and they don't ask anything in return, if you want anything in return for helping them, you could say, don't worry, I won't expect anything in return unless you want to do something for me or give me something in return. Your choice. Just say that, you know. That's a simple and logical way to approach things. Sometimes they will ask you that, not all the time, because it's not always up here. I've even asked. But also you have to be watchful about that. If you're about to accept the help and if you're about to offer the help on both ends. Be very watchful of who you help and be very watchful of who you accept help from, especially. And two as well. Okay, the next topic is, although if I may add before I go into the next topic, if the person that I mentioned, no name was mentioned if you watch the whole entire video of this. But if the person that I was mentioning that I met on the bus, that I offered to help through and with the assistance of my church, is watching this video, If she is watching this video, do know that I speak the truth. Anyways, next topic is Nancy Pelosi is at it again. Nancy Pelosi had the gumption and stupid illogical crap of mindset, that is, to try to down talk and bash the president, even as he walked away from her and the part that she was about to have a public live speech on the media, sound waves. Be that, of course, camera and radio and what have you. And she doesn't get that as much as she tries to bash the president, she's making her party look way worse. Kamala Harris is already making herself way worse. It's already been proven that she's a fraud. It's already been proven many times that 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 Biden is a complete idiot and a uncaring socialist jackass liberal Democrat. And also, it's the same thing with Bernie Sanders, and same thing with the other ones, including Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, as I said, has proven time and time again that she's too afraid to even voice and try to prove that she's not a racist. Because, as I said, within Kamala Harris, she knows she is a racist. Therefore, we don't want a racist for President Kamala, and thereby also Kamala Harris still thinks that she has a chance to be in the running for the Democratic Party for her to be in the running, and she doesn't. It's been proven not only by me, but also by other video type news sources. But I recently also saw something about Social Security and Trump. The news source, the video news source, idiot, thinks that he knows more about the Social Security situation and Trump, as if what Trump is planning to do when it comes to the base of Social Security and the American people's income, when it comes to the Social Security income for each and every United States legal citizen, that it's going to be detrimental and harmful to the American people. That sort of, and various other things that he mentioned, is also what liberals would want you to believe. So that dude doesn't know jack shit of what he's talking about. And he has been posting a lot of the videos on YouTube when it comes to the American news thing, right? The dude needs to do a lot more research than he has. I know Trump well enough because, one, Trump is a businessman, numero uno, on the outside of the family circle, but first off, he's a family man. He's a businessman second. He's a president third. But he can use the same concepts as a president. Thereby, the whole entire population of the American people is part of his family while he's in the White House. And he's accepted that. That's why he's doing many things that are logical and positive and realistic for the American people, even our youth. But yet the liberal Democrats are the ones that are trying to push that or sway it away to where it doesn't actually go into action. And I know I've mentioned this before. The liberal Democrats are the ones that want to make things harder for the American people, when the Republicans and the conservative Republicans are trying to make things easy for the American people and workable for the American people, to where they be able to receive things in a positive level of benefit to and for the American people. But the liberal Democrats don't want it that way, obviously, which is not logical. the liberal Democrats don't get that they're already making themselves look way worse than they already are, and therefore they within the Constitution, especially after the fact that it was reported that that Nancy Pelosi tore up the actual Constitution, the original document, thereby her negative actions are tearing up the Democratic Party, and by the Constitution, the liberal Democrats can be easily dismantled ever so slightly without even Nancy Pelosi noticing. And also, if the liberal Democrats want to stay within the political venue, they need to get rid of Nancy Pelosi. They need to get rid of Kamala Harris. They need to get rid of Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein. Those idiots do not know politics. They do not have any caring heart within them for and about this country and the American people. And of course, I can say the same thing about Schumer and many other liberal male Democrats. And one of them being Joe Biden and also Bernie Sanders and also Gavin Newsom and Jerry Brown don't have any caring heart about the American people in this country. So, if those idiots don't get out of the political venue, then the Democratic Party will be destroying itself from within. No question about that. Also, as everybody knows already, that I don't have anything against YouTube. I don't have anything even indirectly against YouTube. I'm thankful that YouTube is allowing me to do content and informing people about the truth, as I've done since 2004. As a humanitarian and citizen advocate and business advocate and disability advocate and education advocate, what have you. But also, it is still the mission of MGTOW not only to keep men away from feminism, but from what I understand is that one of the content creators of MGTOW was kicked off, and then he came back on. Then one other one was kicked off, and then eventually came back on. Then another one was kicked off by the name of by the name of the CU. I'm not going to say exactly if it was. I'm not going to say exactly the name, but I could say C, the letter C, and the letter U. But I'm not going to say if it's the right way or not. But the MGTOW members already know who I'm referring to by those letterings, reversed, of course. Which would be CDU essentially. The one thing is that even in the business aspect, no CEO, I don't care if you're female or not, no CEO is allowed to go against a person's, or even in this case, a video content creator's free speech. Thereby, if you do that, you're going against the Constitution, and if you go against the Constitution, you can easily ruin your chances of staying in position of CEO or even president of the company, of any company that is doing this, or anything even under the base of malice and illogical, unconstitutional actions. And in the MGTOW aspects is that the number of the content creators of MGTOW are saying that there's a female CEO in YouTube doing this particular thing by taking off the MGTOW members' YouTube content in the sense of where she's just saying simply that they have no right to free speech. Everybody has a right to free speech. the one thing is, there's only a difference. If you're a person that's trying to make threats against America, that's one. But if you're not, and you're not making threats against anybody's life either, then you have every God-given and constitutional right to voice how you feel and what you want to say. No, no video content CEO. It doesn't matter if it's connected with the Google or and which is YouTube in this case or not. You go against the free speech amendment of the Constitution, you will be visited by the Better Business Bureau. Thereby, the Better Business Bureau will investigate it, and also they will shut the business down if the one person doesn't quit with their personal views when it comes to feminism or anything else for that matter. It doesn't matter what it is. If you use your feminist personal views and feelings and take down a content creator's videos and page basically, then you are going against the Constitution. You are the one that's going to be responsible, and you are going to lose your business package, and you are going to be more than pink slipped. That's the base of reality and logic. So nobody, it doesn't matter if you're female, and if you support even the current feminist movement, you cannot use your personal views and claim it's just when it's not by taking down a person's video page and their content and their video content just because you don't agree with it. You do that, you go against the Constitution, and you're going against a person's rights in the base of free speech. Thereby also, guess what? The people can sue the company, and you will lose your job. So no CEO of any company, including YouTube, can use their personal views and feelings, especially even if it deals with the feminist movement and you're backing about it. Okay, so no more no more going against what you do not agree with, or even if you don't like what you hear when it comes to MGTOW going against the feminist movement. We have a right. I have a right, which I thank YouTube for allowing me to view and to voice what I have been doing since 2004 under C.R.P.H.A, but also so do the many MGTOW members of that have video content. They have a right to their free speech, not just the feminist little women who want to back the illogical standards and illogical aspects of the current feminist movement. The only feminist movement that had a logical standing and realistic standing was the ERA of the 1970s feminist movement. The current feminist movement and the Me Too movement has no justification, no true logic and realistic aspects, or anything for that matter. That is the truth. And I'm not going against a woman's rights. If you want to still follow the feminist movement, but be sure of this, that you will not get a man. You will not get anybody from the MGTOW movement to go back into the plantation. You will not get no member from the MGTOW movement to kiss your sorry feminist behind just so you can take the guy for everything he has, that's including everything from his wallet and finances and every other resource of his. Which means the female in question, even if you try to claim that you're not a feminist, but yet you are really, but yet you don't want to, you're too afraid to voice that you are, but yet you voice that you are a feminist, or that you're not a feminist, essentially. That's not gonna bring any guy back to the plantation. The feminist movement and the Me Too movement of today is destroying your chances of having a long, happy marriage with any man. That's the truth. I would tell this to my own daughters And I'm not saying if I do or not have any daughters. But the basic fact is I would tell them that straight out when it comes to this feminist movement, because that's the truth. And the basic fact is that I am a MGTOW member as well. But the basic fact is that the first one I go by is free speech. I stand by the Constitution and Old Glory, the American flag, of course, and also with that, I stand 100% behind President Donald J. Trump, and I've stood behind Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, and George Bush Sr. as well. But the basic fact is, I do not agree with those who go against the Constitution. And a feminist CEO that goes against the Constitution by taking down a content of for any reason, doesn't matter, then you're going against the Constitution, and you will be taking the company down with you unless the company lets you go with no package to back you up financially. And you can use your feminist values and beliefs outside the company, but do not use it in the sense of inside the company when it comes to content creators. And the same thing when it comes to any other business. You cannot use your personal venues of feelings and views when it comes to feminists and the MGTOW movement, and you cannot fire a person for that either. But if a person uses their personal views when it comes to the feminist movement and they attack a person in any way, even physically, or in any other way, just because they don't agree with the feminist movement, or if they do not agree with the MGTOW movement. But the one thing is, a company can fire your sorry ass if you use any actions in defense of the MGTOW movement by taking down a feminist content. Same thing if you're a feminist, if you consider yourself to be a feminist or Me Too follower and member, and you take down a MGTOW or any other content that goes with the base of free speech. Thereby, you do that, you have justification to be fired. And also, you have justification to be arrested and put in jail for going against a person's free speech. There's no illogical aspects or even illegal aspects of saying what one feels about feminist movement and what one feels about the MGTOW movement and why. That's their God-given right on this planet, in the country. And if you want to go to the points of where ones that have to go by socialist actions, go to Japan and China and various other countries that have stricter standards outside that don't go with the U.S. Constitution. You'll be able to get away with that kind of crap in those countries, but not in the U.S. I stand by the Constitution of the United States and the U.S. of A, and also the American flag and what both stand for. I go by every base of the Constitution, including when it comes to free speech, including when it comes to human rights, including when it comes to the right to bear arms, including when it comes to many other things that's within the Constitution. There's a lot. There's a whole long ass list of things that are within the American people's rights, and also constitutional freedoms as well. Anybody goes against that, like the liberal Democrats have tried to many times, even if you are a CEO, female or male, and you go against that, then you will either be let go or fired, or pink slipped with no package financially to back your ass up, and or you will be taken out and cuffed and put in prison, and or the company you will be pulling down along with you, in even after one particular content creator or content creators would put your ass in court for going against the Constitution and their general rights, especially when it comes to free speech, which is not constitutionally logical for you to do if you go against a person's free speech, especially within the Constitution. It doesn't matter if you do or do not agree with it. There's many things I don't agree with that people say and that people talk about on YouTube. You don't see me bitching about it or trying to do anything to where their content is taken down, because I know there's many people who may agree with it. You cannot be the one to say, well, we women don't agree with this, we women don't agree with that, so I'm going to take these down. You can't do that. That's not the base of professionalism in any company. Like it or not, you're going to have to accept it, because that's the base of the Constitution and freedom of speech and rights and choice, and much more beyond. So, no company is allowed to go against the Constitution, especially when it comes to a person's free speech. It doesn't matter what it's on or about. But the basic fact is, YouTube can logically and legally take down a content if it goes against a person's safety and their life. But MGTOW is not about attacking people. MGTOW is not about harming anybody. MGTOW is not about anything in the sense of harming a human being physically or in any other way. But yet, according to MGTOW members, outside of me, of course, that are saying that the CEO, be that of course according to them a female CEO of YouTube, is taking down their content because she doesn't agree with what they're saying, even though they have every God-given right, especially in accordance to the Constitution, to say what they want to say. Thereby, she cannot do that. Thereby, she's shown major professionalism, regardless if she agrees or even follows or even if she is a feminist or not. And I'm not here to judge either, but the basic fact is I'm being honest. So do not go against anybody's free speech, even on YouTube. And do note this: nobody in MGTOW, and not even myself, nobody in MGTOW and nobody in the C.R.P.H.A. would go against a person's rights and freedoms. Thereby also, YouTube cannot go against a person's rights or freedoms. And many of the male genders in there know this. Because if YouTube's gone, they don't have any other job except for maybe Twitter, if they're lucky to get in there. Therefore, if they go in there, they may repeat the same action. Thereby, they'll be tearing that company down. We don't need that. We have every right to free speech. Every person on this planet has a right to free speech, as long as there's no harmful malice and no harmful aspects of actually threatening to harm or end one's life, or anybody, or any number of people's life. So again, the MGTOW content creators have every God-given right to say what they want to say, because they're not harming anybody or anything by saying what they want to say. And this is C.R.P.H.A, Humanitarian and Citizen Advocate. if you want me to talk about more, in the sense of advocating, I will. But also, I will also have something that I posted via my C.R.P.H.A. business advocate. I will put on the description below. But if you want to, if you have any questions and if you want to talk with me, we can talk via Facebook Messenger. Anyway, and just let me know as well, though, too, on that one, on the content, on the comment section below. Anyways, and this is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian and Citizen Advocate on this video, and I salute the President, Donald J. Trump. Keep up the good work. And also, I salute those who have served and who are still serving our country and the American people and keeping us safe and well defended, and also going by the Constitution. And I'm saluting those who have served this country and kept this country and the American people safe. And I thank you for both of you. Thank you both for your service, and I also want to say, and I stand by this as well, that may Heavenly Father bless the American people and our youth, and may Heavenly Father bless the United States of America. Thank you. Have a good day, and please stay safe.